Hey guys, welcome back to the show. It's Danny Elliott. Thank you for watching me. Please hit like and subscribe. Today I want to talk about inspections because inspections are back in real estate. That's right. You guys remember the good old days in 2021? You were looking for a house and you had a bunch of agents telling you highest and best by 5 o'clock or else. You know what that means? That means you have to offer above the asking price with no contingencies, no inspections, no second look, nobody coming in to back you up and, look in the nooks and crannies and check all the systems in the house. You just had to bid highest and best. And a lot of times that means, like I said, over the asking price, but sometimes it's also cash offer. So no financing contingencies, basically no contingencies whatsoever. But now, in the new era, where we had 40,000 real estate contracts cancel in December, now we have massive unsold inventory all over the place. We have sellers asking for asking prices, you know, 30, 40, 50% above fair market value. Now, the inspection contingencies are coming back. Now, a lot of sellers are getting pissed because their deals are getting canceled. Because they're demanding that you put in an offer before you even get to look at the house. Like there will be no tours without an accepted offer. I see this on real estate listings on Zillow all the time. And now what's happening out there? So people are putting in offers and they're contingent upon a home inspection. They're contingent upon you touring the house and looking at all the systems, making sure that everything is up to snuff and that things are not broken and checking, you're going to check the rent roll, right? If you're buying it for an investment, you want to find out if it's occupied. You want to find out when was the last time somebody was in there. You want to go over there, talk to the neighbors on the street, stuff like that. Just the typical due diligence. And so basically you could walk up to that house and you walk around the house and you find out, oh, look, there's a broken window on the back door to the garage, or there's a fixture that's busted out, or the copper pipes were ripped out and stolen. So then you could go ahead and say, look, we inspected it, we're going to cancel the deal, and you're out of that offer just like that. So I wanted you guys to think about this because when you're buying real estate, you make an offer and you're going to make a competitive offer that that is within the house's rent range. So you're only going to make an offer if the house could rent for above your mortgage payment, including the escrow amounts, so it could support itself. And so you're going to evaluate the property tax, the homeowner's insurance, and your principal and interest and PMI and any other holding costs, like if you're going to pay for the utilities and include those with the rental, or if you're not, So you got to figure out what it's going to cost to run that house. And then if you go into the house, you're going to say, oh, okay, it needs work. Like this house is, not what the realtor said it was in the listing. It needs work. It has some updates. Like you always see, many updates, but then you look at the pictures and it's like the last time they touched it was like 1992. You could see all you know, the cream colored cabinets, or you go in the bathroom and it's like, it's that light green color, like the 1950s automobiles were painted in. You don't want to buy like I don't care if it's mid-century. I don't care if it's classic. Like nobody wants that. Tenants want modern. So you're gonna have to update that bathroom. You're gonna have to update that kitchen. You're at least gonna have to put new cabinet doors, or you're gonna have to paint the cabinets. You're probably gonna have to put a new refrigerator if it's a white fridge. They want the double door stainless steel doors side by side, and they want stainless steel appliances. They want a new range, dual fuel, all the with the hood, the hood that goes out of the kitchen. It doesn't just like suck it up and like blow it around the kitchen, you know? Like these are all updates that you're going to need to make. So you can go in and say, hey, look, the after repaired value of this house is this number. But right now it needs repairs. So I got to subtract the cost of repairs from my offer amount. Okay. So I'm going to get out of this deal. I'm going to say, look, we inspected it. I don't want to buy it at the price. And so there's no signed agreement. There's no contract. And so some agents are getting a lot of pushback from their seller that this is some kind of like loophole that you can get out of a deal as a buyer, as a prospect basically. You're going to go look at the deal because the sellers are demanding that you put in an offer sight unseen. You're not allowed to go into the house, right? They always say don't disturb the tenants, don't do a drive-by, only visit the house with a real estate licensee with your own sales agent. Okay, so fine. So you have to put in an offer on a house that's sight unseen. But then you have the right to go to that house and look the house over. So if you go and look the house over and you don't even there's anything you find, maybe you find a downspout that's broken. You say, "Oh, I inspected it and I'm out." That's totally legal because you know what? You don't have a signed agreement. You haven't put down earnest money. You don't have a signed agreement between you, the buyer, and their client, the seller, because you never see who the seller is because it's just a realtor that represents them, you know. So you don't have a deal, right? And even then, even if you have a signed deal, you really don't have a deal until it hits the closing table, until both parties sign, until the real estate attorney looks it over, until the notary puts her stamp on it, until that deed goes to City Hall or the county offices, government center. You don't have a deal at all. So I just want you guys to know about that. If you're making offers out there, I would bid lower. Okay, I would make sure you get comparable sales from 2024, not 2022, not 2021. Don't have some agent, going on rental projections for some Airbnb scheme that they came up with during the crisis when everybody was getting stimmy checks and everybody was just blowing through cash and traveling the country and living their best life because they didn't have to go to work and everybody was locked in a cage. So if you had the means you would go on trips. Like I mean I was in several resort cities during the crisis. I saw all the money flying around. I saw real estate values going through the roof. People were rushing in and buying these bad deals, and now all of that has come to an end and it's over, guys. So contingencies are back, home inspections are back. If you got a seller that's telling you you got to have an accepted offer before you can tour this house, before you can get in, before we can give the tenants, a day and time when they have to open the door so that you can come in and take a look at it. And by the way, I would be real careful about buying a property that's already got tenants installed. You don't know if these people are paying their rent. You don't know if these are professional tenants, especially in places like Los Angeles County, states like California. These are professional tenants. Some of them haven't been paying their rent for years, and the owner can't get them out. Owner's not allowed to kick them out. Owner's not allowed to actually even move back into their own house. If they needed a house, if they didn't have a roof over their head, they're still not allowed to move back into their own house unless they have, just cause to kick them out. And even then, it takes a long proceeding. It takes litigation. It takes a court case, and then it takes the sheriff's office has to do something. And there's all these different government officials that just generally don't cooperate with one another. So I would be real careful about buying an asset that's occupied with tenants. And you always want to verify the rental projections and you want to find out, get a rent roll and see where they're at right now, and then go and, verify that rent roll. Like look at the comparable rents in the area and see if they're see if they're at market rate or if they're like way below, and then determine whether that condition of that asset is really worthy of, bringing the rents back in line with market value, or maybe they're renting, maybe they've had a long time tenant who's, never had their rent raised in the history. And now, you're going to be in a position where you're going to have a struggle on your hands to try to get your rents back up to market value. So, yeah, contingencies are back, home inspections are back. I think it's a good thing for everybody. I think we need more, we need people to deal honestly. And I think that's why a lot of these deals are getting canceled and a lot of the real estate agents are getting fired because they're getting people into these deals. They're having them, yeah, go ahead, sign the agreement and then we'll go take a tour of the house and then on the other end of that, the seller's going to be like, well, we have a deal. We have to, enforce our contract that we came up with. It's like, well, you forced them to sign it just to let them walk through the door and look at the house. It's this little 900 square foot, 2-bedroom house. And you're demanding that they enter into an agreement just to look at the asset. Like, of course there's going to be contingencies, guys. Of course you're going to have an escape hatch, in case you need to get out of that deal. So, yeah, it's no deal until it reaches the closing table and the deed goes to the recorder of deeds at your city or county government offices. So, keep that in mind when you're out there looking at deals. I just wanted to get this video out before I forget about it. You guys know I don't really prepare too much for these episodes. I'm just talking to you guys about real estate here on this channel. And I'm glad you're here. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you subscribe to the channel. And I look forward to talking to you in the next episode. Thanks for watching. I'm Danny Elliott.